Yo, what's up? So one of my biggest challenges recently have been dealing with my own inner critic and dealing with my own mind and my own mind creating judgments. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to help anyone that's creating, whether you're a musician, a writer, a content creator. I want to help everyone, even if you're not any of those things. I want to help you deal with your inner critic, and not really deal with it, but understand it and then overcome it. So in this video, the main point that I'm trying to drive across to you is that your inner critic is there for a reason. It's not just there to make you feel bad. And it's certainly not who you are. If you identify with your inner critic and you think, oh, this is me, I'm telling myself this, I'm bad, and I can't do this, and I can't amount to this and stuff like that, it's not you. So in this video, I'm just gonna help you sort of understand that and speed up the process of you actually being able to do the tasks that you've been putting off for the past few months. When you have this inner critic in your mind, you are so overly analytical of every little thing that you do that you just keep focusing on that one thing that you do. Let's say you make music, for example, and you're playing like a song, right? You made a song and you're playing it, and you make one little mistake, and you're playing the guitar, you just make one little mistake, and you think, oh my God, I've done it again, what's wrong with me? That's you in your inner critic kind of judging yourself. But I want you to understand that that inner critic is not just there by itself. That's the conditioning that you went through when you were a kid. When you were a kid, you were surrounded by people around you. Let's say your teachers and your parents being the main people that were sort of around you. And they created this sense of perfectionism and getting things up to speed and doing things at a certain level and doing things of a certain quality. And when they push you towards getting everything perfect, getting first place every single time, not dropping from first place. If you get a mark less, you're like, yo, you gotta push forward the next time. If you were surrounded by these type of parents and these type of teachers, it's quite obvious why you have an inner critic right now, why you are so critical of yourself right now. If you didn't have this inner critic, you would do whatever you want. And when you do whatever you want, of course you're gonna make mistakes. But the point is you're making mistakes so that you can correct them in the future. And when you correct the mistakes that you make right now, obviously you're going to keep getting better at your skill of what you are doing. So learn to distinguish that this inner critic, instead of fighting it, you just need to kind of see it in the first place. You don't need to like fight it, just see it in the first place, right? That's the first point I'm trying to make. Don't fight your inner critic. Understand it and just hear it out. Be like, yo, what are you saying? Okay, blah blah blah. It's gonna bark some bullshit at you. You're just gonna be like, okay, you think that, you think this video is going to be bad, okay, you think this is gonna happen, okay, but don't really identify yourself as being that inner critic and expressing as that. Just think that that is some part that's here, and you're like, okay, I'm seeing that, but that's not me. You know, it's a bit difficult to kind of understand. And once you understand it, it's like, yo, that's not me. I'm me, and I'm talking to you. One of the worst things that your inner critic can do is, number one, it can induce anxiety. And number two, it can cause you to like burn out. Like you're not able to even do the task. Like you're just procrastinating on what task you were meant to do. You just think of the task and like, oh, but I'm gonna get this wrong and this is gonna happen, but I can't do this because I have this later and this and that. And your mind is just gonna create excuses so that you don't face your inner critic, and your inner critic will win in that scenario. So number one, when you have this sense of anxiety, your inner critic is basically telling you, oh, you can't do this because this won't work out. Why are you doing that in the first place? It won't happen, or something bad might happen in the future. You might not be able to pursue the thing that you're doing long term. Why are you doing it in the first place? And like I said, the point is not to fight the inner critic. The point is to understand it and understand where it's coming from. Every single thing that you tell yourself, whether that be positive or negative, there's this subconscious side of yourself that is telling you that unless and until you have programmed yourself to think positive things manually, there's going to be a lot of stuff in the background that is just running subconsciously, and it's going to be running you as a system, and you're not even going to be able to recognize it. You're going to be like, oh yeah, that's just me. I just think I can't do this. I just think I can't do that. When you were like little, you didn't believe that you couldn't achieve that. When you were little, you wanted to be an astronaut or a football player or whatever your mind was just limitless. But once you grew up, everyone just started putting these boundaries on you. Oh, to be a professional, you need to master 10,000 hours in this task and that and that and that. And all these barriers, you looked at them and be like, oh yeah, you know what, I can't do that. That's not you. That's all the conditioning that you went through. But to help you understand, that anxiety that you feel, it's not really you. That's just the conditioning that you felt. And you're holding onto that conditioning as yourself. And that is what is causing that anxiety. And the burnout part, when you constantly think of yourself and be like, oh, but I can't do this, and you have no ideas, you're in a period where you're not able to produce anything of your own, that can be one of the worst moments, because you know you want to do something, but you don't know where to start. And the message here I want to give you is just start where you feel the inspiration. Do you know what I mean? Like when you feel even like a small spark of inspiration, just start with that and follow the path from there. Because if you just keep on waiting and waiting and waiting for that spark to come up, it's never going to be there. What you need to do is wait for this, not even wait. What you need to do is you need to look for that little inspiration that you get, that little spark of inspiration, and just work on that as soon as you can. When you keep putting off a task and you're like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I just don't want to do it, there's going to be a point where it haunts your mind so much that there's going to be a point where you're like, okay, I guess I have to do that task. I have to do this. But when you think of that, you are actually forcing yourself to do it. When you force yourself to do a task, what's going to happen is you're going to use so much like low level energy doing that task. You're going to be like, oh, I have to do it. I'm doing it because just I have to. I just need to get it out of the way. I don't want to think about it. When you do that task in that sort of mindset, what's going to happen is the task will not really vibrate at the certain frequency that you aimed it to be in the first place. So when you are inspired by something, you think, I want to create this, but you don't do it immediately, and you just keep on postponing, and you're like, oh, that task I wanted to do back in that day, I want to do it now. And when you do it now, it's like, you're not feeling it. So when you are feeling a task, that is when you're like best at doing it. But that's another trap that your inner critic sort of puts you in. If you're not in the right place, not in the right mindset, that means you can't do that task. When your inner critic tells you that, that is basically your sort of resistance to a task. And that resistance can be handled so easily. You just have to commit yourself for like, I don't know, like 5 minutes, or even like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's it. 5 to 10 minutes, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to be focused in on this task. And when you focus for like, let's say 5 to 7 minutes, you're going to be like, oh, I'm doing it, so I might as well give my best at doing this task that I'm focused on. So when you're creating from a place of lack, people can feel that lack from your content or from your writing or from your song. When you're doing something that you're not really interested in, people can actually feel it. So what I'm here to tell you is, whenever you are doing like a task that you want to do it out of like sheer joy and passion, and not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna get this from that task. My reward for doing this task is that. Do it for the sheer like being in a present moment. I just want to do this, that sort of way. And if you don't resonate with that certain task, do something else. Try something different. Mix it up. It's not that you're here just to stick to one thing. One thing that I don't like myself is sticking to one thing. I want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. I want to do everything at once. But in order to like master something specifically, I guess you have to focus on one thing and hone in on that. But it's just, I'm not built for that. Do you know what I mean? But obviously we're going to see what happens. So I hope this video was a bit helpful for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next one.